it's Jenny. Welcome back to my channel. I hope that you guys are excited because we have another DIY for you guys in today's video. I really wanted to try to make this macrame fruit basket or plant hanger. It looked really cute when I found it in stores. I think I have all the materials that I need to make it, so why not try it myself and add my own little touches to it. Enough of me talking, let's go ahead and get started. Let's go. Some things that you'll need for this project is wooden rings, some macrame cord, assorted size wooden beads, and hot glue, of course. To start, you're going to glue down one end of the macrame cord to wrap all around the wooden rings. Honestly, I didn't know how long the macrame cord had to be to wrap around all the rings, so I just cut out a huge piece and I wrapped that, and if I was missing any pieces, then I just cut out more and glued that on. Now that you're done with that, you're going to grab your 16 strands, each 5 foot long, attach each strand to the ring using double half hitch knots. Fold your strand in half, put the loop through the ring, and pull the strands through. You'd want 2 pairs together. Leave a bit of room for where the hanging strands will attach to. Keep it even all around as much as possible. Now that you're finished with all that, it's time to make some square knots. And if you haven't seen my other macrame videos before, I really like doing square knots. It's just super easy and simple, and I really like how the design comes out. So you're definitely going to see a lot of square knots in today's video. Once you're done with the 2 square knots on the top, you're going to make another square knot about 1 inch down, forming a triangle. Go ahead and set that to the side, and you're going to grab your wooden ring and then your 8 cords that are about 15 feet long each. Fold that in half and make sure that the cords match up at the bottom evenly. Next, you'll need a strand that is about 1 foot long. Take one end and face it up. Make a loop and wrap the strand around tightly. I wrapped mine around 7 or 8 times. Once I was done, the bottom strand end, I'm going to pull that through the loop, and then the top end, I'm going to pull up, so then it starts pulling that knot into the wraps. You just want to pull it enough where it hides it. You don't want to pull it all the way. Once you're done, you're just going to cut off the ends, and you're pretty much done with the wrapping knot. Now it's time for the fun parts, and yes, it's making a lot of square knots. I did about 7 from the top. After I was done with my 7 square knots, I added some half square knots, which is a spiral knot. They normally call it like a macrame spiral or a twisting knot. It looks pretty cool, so I just wanted to add like a different design on it. Once I was done there, I just grabbed one of my medium wooden beads and I threaded that through the 2 middle cords of this hanging strands. And to keep the wooden bead in place, all I did was just tie a square knot right underneath. And of course, if you do it to this cord, you're gonna have to do it to the rest. So just continue doing the same design to the rest of them. Take it slow, watch the road, stop driving myself insane. And I really like the wooden bead look, so of course I grabbed 8 smaller wooden beads. I threaded those through each group of strands on the outside strings instead of the 2 middle ones this time. Now it's time to grab the medium ring that you were working on earlier, pull the strands inside the ring and start attaching that to the hanging cords by using the double half hitch knot method. Try to attach the cords and keeping the ring as straight as possible, but if you can see that it's a little crooked later on, don't worry, you can always adjust it once all the cords are attached. Yes, it's time to make more square knots, and this time you're gonna leave the strands that are from the hanging strands out of this, but you're gonna make square knots in between the strands that were on the ring. We could have done this earlier, but I really didn't know what type of design I wanted, but that's okay, we'll work through it. It still looks really cute. I had about 3 rows of square knots, the top, middle, and the bottom, and in between each one I did about maybe like 2 inches. I tried my best to make it evenly. Now it's time to grab your 6-inch wooden ring and attach it to this piece. You're going to do the same method that you did to the top one, and you're just going to pull all the strands inside and make a double half hitch knot, and that's going to be your first basket.
Stop driving myself insane. End of the day. At the end of the
Go ahead and take another 12-inch strand and make a wrapping knot underneath the basket. Group all the strands together. It's okay if it looks a little droopy, because later on you can pull each strand gently to straighten out the bottom. You're going to do the same thing that you did on the top. You're just going to make one of the end facing up, make a little loop, and start wrapping all around. I did it a couple times, maybe like 7 times, and then the other end would go through the loop, start pulling the top end up, and that should hide the knot inside the wrappings. And you're all done. Just make sure you cut off the ends so you don't see it, and start pulling on each of the strands gently so then it starts straightening out. I thought about adding more square knots down from the basket, so I would say maybe about 2 inches down I made another square knot, and then another 2 inches made another square knot, and I thought it would be really cute to add more beads here, so I grabbed like the medium side wooden beads and I threaded that through the middle, and then of course making a square knot underneath to keep it in place. For the next basket, you're going to grab your medium ring, but for this medium ring, I only attached on 8 strands instead of 16, but they're still 5 feet long, and then I attached the same way that I attached the other one. I just tucked everything on the inside of the ring, and I did a double half hitch knot to attach. Now for the next steps, all I did was just make square knots all around, similar to the first basket design, but this time I am including in the hanging strands. If you don't remember the first one, we didn't use the hanging strands, it wasn't included, but this time we're going to use that as well, just to make everything proportionate, and it's our last basket anyways, so it should look a little bit more even than it did on the first one. You should have 3 square knot rows, and they're about 1 inch apart from each other, and then now you're going to go ahead and attach your last ring, and you're going to tuck everything in and attach it the same way that you did the others, and then you should be pretty much done there. Now make your last wrapping knot underneath everything, and then start pulling the bottom so all the strands are nice and straight. Once you're done with straightening out all the strands, it's time to cut off the tassel. My tassel is about 8 inches long, and then all I did after that was just unwrap a little bit of the ends to make it a little bit of a fringe, and it just added a little bit more texture. So that was all for today's video. I hope that you guys liked the DIY. I thought it was super adorable. Even Jimmy was just like, wow, that looks like something you definitely see in stores. I thought it was so cute, and I hope that you guys do as well. Make sure to DM me if you guys plan to make something like this. I would love to see it. Please give me a big thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!